Thanks again for joining me on Your Life, Our World. Doing it a little differently today. I don't have anywhere to set up my tripod, so I'm just filming myself. It's a beautiful Thursday morning, and I decided to go for a hike. It's something I don't usually do, so I know it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Prepared with all the tools and resources I thought I'd need. I've got my water, my sunscreen, I've stretched out, have my iPod to get me in the zone, and have my hiking shoes on, so if I have any battery left in my camera, I'll check in with you guys at the top.
Here I am, all rested and recharged after my hike this morning. And as I mentioned in the beginning, I wanted to kind of go over everything that I got from this hike. And I wanted to start by sharing that I thought it was really neat. I turned on my iPod and clicked shuffle. The first song that came on was The Climb by Miley Cyrus, which she says in it, and you saw it in the quote in the beginning of this video, it's not about how fast I get there, it's not about what's waiting on the other side, it's about the climb. And I truly believe that for all of our journeys in life, and for me today, my hike, it's not about reaching the goal. The most important part is the journey. It's what you learn about yourself, what you learn about life, how you grow, and what you make it mean for you. So this hike was very much the same for me, so it was really neat to get that song as a kickoff for the start of my hike. I have my notes here if you don't mind. I'm going to kind of go over them. I wrote down some really, really key ideas that I learned. I had a lot of distinctions, and so it was just a really great experience, and I'm so happy to be able to share that with you and go through this journey with you. First, I said preparation and resourcefulness. I think resourcefulness is really key in setting goals and in moving forward and growing. As you saw in the first video, I kind of knew what my situation was. I was going to go on this long hike, and it was a hot day out, and I didn't know quite how far I was going, so I was prepared with my sunscreen, water, food, the right shoes. I stretched myself out, and being prepared like that, I was ready for as much as I was aware of, but I was still flexible enough to be resourceful when it came to other things that got in my way. I got to a point where there were two paths for me to take, and I had no idea which way either of them went. And I sat for a while thinking about them and realized that it wasn't getting me anywhere, so I took a walk around one of the little corners and got a different viewpoint. I saw where each of them was going, and then I saw a couple people walking by. They just come from my path to my left, and they were going on the path to my right. So I asked them where they came from and what the different paths were. And I really thought that it's so important that we can apply this in life. Leaders are able to ask for help. Leaders are people who can step back when it's time for somebody else to take the lead. And it's the same in your own personal goals and leading yourself. It's allowing yourself to get help from others and model somebody else who's done the same thing. It's why reinvent the wheel when somebody's already done it. So it's very true in life. If you're stuck and you need help with something, ask somebody who's already done it or who knows a lot about what you're doing, and you'll get some clear answers and a little bit more certainty about which way you need to take in moving forward towards your goal. Second, I have pace yourself, and don't forget to stop and smell the roses. A lot of times in life, we set a goal and we're so excited and so amped up to get to it that we work extremely hard to get there, and once we reach that place, we're burnt out and we're not able to enjoy it. We're not able to serve ourselves or others once we're at that point because we wore ourselves out. And so I kept that in mind today on my hike. I knew it was hot and I knew it was going to be a long day, so I decided to pace myself and to not forget about where I was and just look around at the beauty of the environment and how it kind of separated me from my everyday craziness. And something I always do is I carry intention rocks with me, and today I carried with me inner peace, breathe, and gratitude. So I was reminded of that when I had those in my bag, just to feel grateful for where I was and to get inner peace and kind of quiet my mind and forget about everything else because it was about the journey of the hike and enjoying the outdoors and getting away from the everyday stuff. So that was really important for me. Third thing, creating mini goals. Something I did today. It was a little daunting to just say I'm going to climb to the top of this hill. So what I did was I told myself we're going to make it to the next rock, or we're going to go around the next bend in the path. And once I got there, I would celebrate. That's the important thing. Celebrate each little mini goal you make, because you are making steps towards your final goal, and it's really important to acknowledge that and keep your own morale, your own spirits up. And I made sure to do that today. And it's like in life, if you're in, we'll say, school, instead of saying I want to get straight A's, that can be your final goal. But an easy way to do it is I'm going to study really hard. I'm going to get an A on this test. I'm going to get an A on the next test. I'm going to do my homework. They're all little bits and pieces that are a little less daunting than just taking on the big picture immediately. Getting a new viewpoint. That's kind of along the lines of what I told you earlier about having to choose a different path. You just realize that there's so many resources around you, and everything is a resource. You need to be creative with it and find ways to get another viewpoint, to get somebody else's opinion, to kind of look at the different situations and choose the best option for you, because it's different for everybody, but it's always easier once you've got plenty of information to support your decision. 5, justifying and blaming. This isn't a positive thing, but it's something I believe we all do, whether it's on a big task like today or just life in general. I got to the top and I was so excited about it, but I can tell you honestly that there were points when I wanted to stop. When I said I wanted to turn around, and I would justify it by saying I went farther today than I have ever gone before, justify it by saying I've worked really hard today, and it doesn't matter if I get to the top because I did awesome. And I was kind of justifying why I would quit before I had wanted to quit. As well as blaming, oh, they made these paths too steep, or something silly like that. And I think we do that in everyday life. We kind of justify why we quit moving towards our goals, or we justify why we're not continuing on with what we're passionate about. We make excuses like, I don't have enough time, I can't do this, and all it does is pushes us back. So what I want to encourage you to do is to allow yourself to think those things, but then to be realistic and realize that you're on the right path and you need to keep moving forward, because that's all garbage that kind of gets in the way. And it's about allowing yourself to feel and think all of those things, but being able to learn from it and grow from it and move past those states of mind a little quicker. Next is new strategies from experience. So once you're on this journey, you're going towards this goal, you'll learn what works and what doesn't work, and creating new strategies on how to get there quicker the next time, or even along the same journey. And for me, a new strategy, I would not start my hike at 11 a.m. and be out there on the top of the mountain at 12:30, right in the middle of the sunny day. It's good to come up with new strategies. It's about being flexible. So I had one plan, and I worked with it. Next time I go, I'm going to leave at about 9 a.m. and get up there right before the sun. So it's not quite as exhausting. That's all I have now, but it's just a way to relate my journey today to everyday life. And the most important thing is that once you set a goal, I encourage you to be so passionate about it, so determined, that you're able to enjoy the process. Setting goals and reaching those goals, it's not about dreading what you have to do to get there. It's about enjoying that journey, because it truly is about the climb. It's about what's going on, the people you meet, the things you do on your way to that goal. Because what usually ends up happening more often than not is that you reach that goal, you end up setting a bigger goal, because we can't just stop there. It's what happened to me today. I got to where I expected to go and realized the path kept going up, and so I kept setting bigger goals because I realized I was capable of more than I thought. So to you, I wish you an amazing journey in whatever you choose to do, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share with you what I did this week on my hike, and I will see you again in a week. Be well.